Hey biscuits, fancy meeting you here on the Wholesome Feed. If you're new here, hi, I'm Rose Kelly. I am a romance and erotica author. I write under the pen name RM Kelly. Welcome to check out all those books in the description box. Click on over to our Primal Self-Care. Come join the community. If you are looking for a community of fun, playful, saucy versions of your inner being coming out to play and teach you how to be happy, my page over there is the spot to join. So today, I'm putting on my mama hat. Ooh. I am a mama to two. I have a 2.5-year-old and a 9-year-old. Wild, I call them the house gargoyles. That's what they are. But I have picky eaters. I was the pickiest eater ever, so it's karma. God is just chuckling at me going like, I'm gonna give you an even pickier eater than you were. I'm like, is that possible? It turns out it is, biscuits. It turns out it is. So I have learned a thing or two about how to feed picky eaters, neurodivergent picky eaters, sensory issue eaters, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to share with you some of the foods that work on even the pickiest of eater, with the understanding that every kid's palate is different. And I do try to be accommodating, because I remember that as a kid, some food really was gross. And I try not to force my kids to eat things, but sometimes I have to draw the line at health where like, you need to eat something that's nutritious, right? So these are easy tips for picky eaters to actually feed them things. Okay, probably one of the best things you could do, and this can be really easy. I know it sounds intimidating when I first say it. You're like, no, Rose, I can't do it. I'm not a baker. Homemade bread. It can be, you can knead it yourself, raise it. You can make your own sourdough starter, or you can just do easy bread machine bread. Seriously, you mix in like 5 ingredients into your bread machine container, you stick it in, press a button. It's done. It's so easy. Anybody can do it. It's basically cook proof. That's how good it is. Homemade bread is something that my pickiest eaters will eat. It depends what I'm putting on there. On the topping, honey, butter, cheese. If you have amazing kids, maybe olives. My daughter went through a little phase earlier this year where she wanted to eat olives on bread, and I was like, olive tapenade it is, fine 2-year-old, you know? She also really likes goat cheese and balsamic on it, and I'm like, man, you are my daughter. But my picky eater loves honey and butter on there. You can mix in whatever healthy little ingredients you can slip on by. Homemade bread is like the foundational ingredient for us for picky eaters. It's like my go-to, easy carb, it's healthy, no additives and preservatives, we're making ourselves. You know something I can tell about picky eaters? They like carbohydrates. Pasta. Pasta is one of our go-to nibbles in this family for picky eaters. Now, I have a picky enough eater that he'll only eat certain pastas, and then my daughter will only eat certain pastas. So do I sometimes have to make 2? Yes. I draw the line here. I will make 2 pastas, but I'm making them in the same pot. And if they touch, that's just life. So those are my rules. Pasta is such a good foundational food for picky eaters, because you can put so much tasty things on that pasta, in that pasta, make it into a pasta casserole. There's so many ways to like notch it up in flavor, in texture, in health. So I love that. It's just an easy base, and it's inexpensive. You know, food prices are crazy right now. It's so great to be able to just buy a $1 bag of pasta and be like, okay, this is our meal. We can add whatever we want to it. It's awesome. My little homesteading heart loves to add frozen veggies that I grew in the summer. It's fantastic. I love it. So this is something that actually surprised me, and I've only found out through experience as a mama. Some picky eaters really won't touch soup, but which you think is like super kid friendly. But my son will eat dipping sauce with grilled cheese, which is tomato soup. And you can buy roasted pepper tomato soup that looks like tomato soup but has veggies in it. And it is an amazing way to get them to eat something that is not just bread or pasta and just call it dipping sauce. So if I call it soup, he won't eat it. If I hand him a bowl of soup, no. If I hand him a bowl of dipping sauce, same thing. And he knows it's the same thing. It makes no sense. He will eat it. So find soups, not stews, because stews can be really hard on kids with sensory food pickiness. Soups can be wonderful for eating. It can be really game changer for you. This is a big hit in our family. It's a snack plate with just different nibbles on it. It can have homemade bread. We like to make our own olive oil and balsamic dipping sauces with little herbs in it. You can do roasted veggie spreads. You can do fruit veggie plates. You can do crackers and nuts. You can make your own little trail mix. It's so much fun. You just put the platter out and kids can nibble at will, because some picky eaters will eat more varieties of food if you just leave it out and let them come to it. And that can be a really good way to introduce new flavors, new textures that they might not have otherwise eaten in like a timed setting, like of a meal, but just leave out the snack platter. This is a way that I get whole grains in and berries and yogurt, is toaster waffles. So I just go to like Trader Joe's and I buy whole grain waffles. You can make them too. I've made them from scratch in our little waffle maker, but that's more time consuming. Toaster waffles, add on some fruit. The rule is if you're gonna eat the toaster waffles with the maple syrup, you need to have some fruit. I often put a scoop of no sugar yogurt next to it. You need to eat that with it. So healthy, so good, and even picky eaters with enough maple syrup will eat whole grain fruits and waffles. It's so easy. It's like a go-to morning breakfast when we're super busy because I can make it in under 10 minutes and then they can eat it real, you know, kids eat so fast, right? They can eat it and then we can go on if we have an early morning adventure to do, which is awesome. This is probably my pickiest eater's favorite meal. I use my air fryer to make him grilled cheese paninis. Put a little pesto and a little bit of grated cheese, and I just air fry it for about 3 minutes. I tend to use homemade bread on that. He'll eat 2 of them easily. It's a really filling meal. You can add in some meat in the sandwich if your picky eater will allow it. Mine gets suspicious when I try to make grilled cheese with meat. But it's a great way to feed a picky eater quickly and with mainly homemade ingredients, really, which is fantastic because so much of picky eating food is like, what can I still feed you that's healthy? And air fryer grilled cheese is like so good. So those are some of my picky eater food tips. If you are desperately looking around thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, what do I feed these picky eaters? These are all things that have been really successful for us with just a family of super persnickety eaters. So my kids will eat it, almost any child will, because it's hard to get more picky than my kids. Oh my goodness, yes. I know. It's karma because I was such a picky eater, and so it's just my palate has been given to them. It's like I condoned myself twice in the picky eating department. I would not have mind having children that will eat more vegetables. My daughter, I will say, is less of a picky eater than my son. She will eat fruits and vegetables. My son has to be entirely tricked to get him to eat any of those. So you are not alone, mama, if you are on here looking for like, what foods can I feed them? It's not a parent failing. It's just a kid's palate thing. It'll change. They will one day love food. It might not be until their adulthood, but they'll survive. Just try out different little nibbles and see what works. Tell me in the comments below, what is like a #1 food that you feed your picky eater that is successful time after time that they'll actually eat. I'll see you over on Patreon. I'll see you in our next video here on The Wholesome Feed. Hey Biscuits, thanks so much for hitting the subscribe button, clicking that like button, and always coming along and watching new videos. I really appreciate you being a part of our Wholesome Feed family on here.